What is up? It's Hoff. We're talking college ball tonight. Week 3 action. Week 0 always throws everything off because it's the 4th week, but it's week 3 and whatever. And with a opening update, I've got a couple games on to my left. So if you see me looking to, I guess it would be, my left. Wow. This Ohio State game is actually nuts. It's behind the Peacock paywall, so it's hidden back there, but it's a game. It's a game. I wasn't expecting to say that early on. But it's Ohio's good, man. They were good last year. They didn't lose a lot. They lost their head coach, but they replaced him with the offensive coordinator. So the offense is the same. Parker Navarro still there. They got Steve Angora back. Ohio's good. I wouldn't be shocked if they won the MAC again. They certainly have the talent to. And they're giving Ohio State all they can handle right now, which is wild to say. What else we got going on? LSU's up by a touchdown against Florida. Looks like Vanderbilt just went up against South Carolina. That was a 7-7 game for a while. That's interesting. Notre Dame was handling A&M pretty well last I saw. And USC Purdue is the other one I have up right now. It's not much of a game. USC is handling them pretty easily. What a day to be from the state of Georgia, huh? I'm not from Georgia, but I'm sure somebody watching or listening is from Georgia. Having a great day. Georgia comes out on top in overtime against Tennessee in Tennessee. Georgia Tech beats Clemson. We'll talk about it. I've got words for Clemson. I saw the Georgia State score. They were winning. Georgia State is winning. Georgia Southern is only up by a touchdown now against Jacksonville State. So Georgia's going for a sweep tonight. And how's Kennesaw doing? Kennesaw, where are you? I lost you guys. There we go. Kennesaw's winning as well. So what a night. What a day for the state of Georgia. So far. Lots of football left. Yeah, so let's who's hop in the comments. Who saw, or the chat, sorry, we're live. Who saw the ending of the Georgia Tennessee game? That was a good game overall. Kind of sucks if you're a Tennessee fan how it ended, but it was a good game for the neutral. Field goal kicker misses the winning field goal. They go to overtime, and it's Georgia's just something different. Like, they could and should have lost that game, but they didn't. They march on. Georgia Tech, Clemson. Georgia Tech hits the walk-off winning field goal as time expires against Clemson. And I'm just gonna let me pull up before I get too deep into it, let me pull up excuse me, my ammo for this, because, and I should just put Nate, who was with me last week, I should put what he said in our Discord as the little, like, if I could put a little quote box somewhere on the screen, I would put, Clemson is playing so under their talent level this year. Not that Georgia Tech or LSU are bad. Georgia Tech's underrated. I agree with that. I agree. Georgia Tech's a good team. They're very underrated. Maybe not so much now that they beat Clemson, but they were underrated coming into this game. But Clemson on paper was set up for this year. And they were. They were set up. Klubnik was going to make a Heisman run. They have one of, if not the best wide receiver room in the country. I would say at least there's three that come to mind when I talk about wide receiver rooms. And it's Clemson, Auburn, and I would throw Ohio State in there just because they're so top heavy. And there's still at least two NFL wide receivers, if not three, there. Yeah, Wesco, Moore, Brown, Williams was hurt. He was out today. But Wesco actually had a great game. But at Clemson, I don't know. Klubnik isn't. He reminds me, his trajectory, maybe is the right word, is a lot like, at least from the end of last season until now, is a lot like Drew Aller. Drew Aller's entire career, where he was great, and then you haven't seen that projection. You haven't seen that progression. And I know Penn State hammered, I forget who they played today. I'll have to pull that up. They put up like 60, 62, 63, something like that. They won handily. But they should have as well. But Clemson is just, I don't know why they're underperforming so badly. Wesco, like I said, Wesco had a great game. Klubnik was 15 of 26, which is not good enough. Accuracy, 57, round up to 58% accuracy, one touchdown, 207 yards for an 80 rating. He did add 62 yards and a touchdown on the ground. So, and he does that. He will add to the offense via the run. But Clemson so far is just not it. If you have a Clemson fan or a Klubnik truther in your league, trade Klubnik for what you can get. I'm not saying he's not going to be worth nothing, but if you're in a C2C league, and also once the rest of the Clemson ACC schedule starts, who else do they have? They have Syracuse next, which there'll probably be a lot of points in. At North Carolina, at Boston College, SMU, Duke, Florida State. I think the ACC overall will lighten up a little bit, but I mean, like today, just, I don't know. If I had to, I don't think I have any Klubnik. Actually, let me check that, because I will give you the exact advice what I would do, but I'm pretty sure I don't have him anywhere. I do not have him anywhere. I have him in an eliminator league. I'm going to get eliminated because of that. So yeah, I would try to move him. It might be too late. Last week was probably the time, but today is the second best time. So yeah, so there's your fantasy analysis for Clemson. The wide receivers, I would hold on to them. I don't see a reason to move them necessarily, especially Wesco. I think Wesco is the best of the receivers they have. Williams is going to be in the draft this year, but he's also hurt, so he's not getting you points. But if you're like in a Devy league or things like that, then definitely Wesco is the one there. Oh gosh, Clemson. Yeah, that's all I got for that. Let's go back since there's a lot of games going on. I see A&M is down by 3 now. They were down by a lot more than that last time I looked. Let's talk about Thursday and Friday because there are some good games, and there's 3 games I want to talk about on Thursday and Friday. And what better time to do it? Thursday, the game I want to talk about is NC State at Wake Forest, and I really just want to talk about it for 2 reasons. I was going to say for 1, but really there's 2. 1, Hollywood Smothers had a great game. He's having a great season. He's averaging 24, just under 25 points a game. He's playing great. And he's 95% rostered, so good luck getting your hands on him. But his buddy in the backfield, Cedric Bailey, is also playing really well. He's rostered in 31% of leagues. Unfortunately, not available in any leagues I'm in. I know I saw it on Twitter. I had said it in a couple places as well. He is going to get a big bag thrown at him from Miami next year because Nate and I talked about Miami last week. They don't really have a succession plan lined up at quarterback, at least recruit-wise. Their plan seems to be find the best guy in the portal or find a guy in the portal. Cam Ward, Carson Beck having a good season. And they'll probably do the same thing next year, I would guess. And I would not be shocked to see Cedric Bailey end up there. That's kind of a early call, but he's playing really well. And he's from Chaminade. Yeah, okay. He's from Miami as well. So he played, I'm sorry, Chaminade Madonna. That's where Brandon Ennis went? Is that true? Question mark? Yes? Hold on. Was he Brandon Ennis's quarterback in high school? Did I just learn that? I thought he was from Hollywood. Oh, no, he was not. I know whose quarterback he was for a season. Was he Jeremiah Smith's quarterback? Yeah, he went to Chaminade Madonna. Okay. I'm not going to say replace Julian Sayin. He's played well this season, but that's interesting. I didn't realize that they had played high school ball together. There you go. Learned something today. And if you didn't know that, you did too. So we are educational here at... I just realized I didn't I introduced myself. This is the Freshman 15 Live. There we go. 15 minutes in. So yeah, a little bit of admin. I'm Hoff, and I do a Sunday evening, Monday, depending on when it gets uploaded, podcast during the season that is waiver pickups, waiver targets, waiver guys to avoid, things like that. And if you would like to get that specific podcast, you have to join dynastyrewind.com and you can get access to that podcast feed there. Excuse me. And on Wednesday evenings at between like 8:30, 9 o'clock, I don't have an exact time nailed down because I have 3 toddlers, and you try nailing down an exact time with 3 toddlers. Good luck. I do a start sit roster questions like an office hours show. So you just come in on Wednesday night. It'll be on the same channel here on the Dynasty Rewind YouTube, Dynasty Rewind on Twitter, and Dynasty Rewind on Twitch. Our handle on Twitch, we just set it up, is Dynasty Rewind 19. the number 19 numbers 19. Yeah, give us a follow if you are a Twitch person as well. And back to the foosball. So we talked about Thursday, NC State Wake Forest. 2 Friday games I wanted to talk about, and both of them kind of have the same theme. I was disappointed, and I have been, and I'm sure many other college fantasy players, C2C players, have also been disappointed with Kansas State and UCLA. They didn't play each other. But Kansas State played at Arizona. Arizona won 23-17, and Avery Johnson was 13 of 29 for 88 yards. He did have a rushing touchdown, but again, for where he was getting drafted, not nearly good enough. And Dylan Edwards has been hurt. He came back, didn't do much. I'm not upset with him yet, but I am upset with Avery Johnson. I think that's a fair criticism. And okay. I was seeing Ohio State. That's not a fumble. Okay. Florida and LSU are tied up. There we go. Trying to get a score on this Vanderbilt South Carolina game. It looks like Lenore Sellers got hurt. Don't like that. I don't think he's going to come out this year. There was a lot of hype around him. I'm still a believer, but I don't think he's going to come out in the draft this year. I don't think he should. And someone else. Oh, sorry. Let's finish the UCLA thought. Just disappointment, man. Like Nico. Also, actually, what's his points? No, he's not. That's not what you want from Nico Yamaleava. 14.5, 25.6, and 17.1. Like, that's not enough. He has a touchdown in each game. He has an interception in each game. He has 1 rushing touchdown. That's and 3 losses. It's not there. There's a lot of Nico Quasi Gilmer hype and like under the radar hype. Well, it looks like they were under the radar for a freaking reason now, which is unfortunate. Because that's just a garbage or dumpster fire of a program right now. The grass is not always greener. I forget what I cut off my talk to talk about. Vanderbilt is still up 14-7. Oh, I know. Lenora Sellers, how he should stay a year. Also, someone else that should stay a year and will absolutely has to is despite he's putting up fantasy points. He's averaging just under 30 points a game. And that's Arch Manning. So fantasy wise, like, sure, you're getting the points. But if this is kind of the argument, like, are you actually watching the games? If you're in a C2C league, like if you're in a CFF league, you're probably, I mean, you're kind of disappointed because you probably took Arch within the first 3 picks, 4 or 5 picks, maybe. He went early in a lot of my drafts. And if you're in a C2C league like this, I would be concerned. He doesn't look, I don't know if he's not healthy. I don't know if it's just too much for him, if he's still growing. I mean, you would expect him to still grow a little bit. And cut off. Lenore Sellers is out for the game, according to Pete Themo. And he's unlikely to return. Oh, he's out of the game. He's unlikely to return. There we go. That's not good for South Carolina. But if you picked Vanderbilt to win, it's a good one. I should have worn my Vandy shirt tonight. But I'm getting ready for next week when the Crimson kick off. Ari Wasserman had a great tweet about Arch, and friend of the show, Caleb, posted it in our in the Dynasty Rewind Discord. He said, I wonder if I can get this up on the screen. Maybe. I'm not going to do that. That's a lot of stuff I don't want on there. He said, Arch Manning thoughts. 1, if he is injured and this is the result in playing badly, he shouldn't be playing. Okay, fair point. If he isn't injured and this is the result, that's bad. Also a fair point. Like, one of those things has to be true, right? He either is injured and playing badly, or he isn't injured and is bad. And he doesn't have an excuse necessarily like he would if he was injured. Not saying that that would be better if he was injured, but just something to think about. I personally do not have any Arch anywhere. If I did, I would not have any Arch after this week. Is that selling early? It might be. It might come back to bite you. I don't know if I would. I don't know what his value is going to be at the end of the season before draft season next year when you could get something for him. I don't know. If it continues on this path, maybe for CFF value, great. But I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it so far. There are a couple guys I wanted to give some flowers to. Let me get my little banner out. Who impressed you today? So if you're watching, if you watch college ball today, drop a message in the chat and we'll talk about the player that impressed you or helped your team toward victory. There's still some late games tonight, so you probably haven't secured a victory yet. If you have, let me know who's on your team. Maybe it's one of these guys. The first guy I have, he had 50. Did he drop a 50 burger today? Oh yeah, he almost dropped a 60 burger in my league. Steve Angeli from Syracuse, 24 of 32, 417 yards. He threw for 417 exactly last week as well. On 33 completions, he threw 32 passes today. That's kind of cool. 5 touchdowns. Jeremiah Smith just caught a long touchdown. Did he add one on the ground? And he added one on the ground. So Steve Angeli against Colgate. Whew, he was something else. And again, I know it's against Colgate. Ugh. You got to play who is up, who lines up against you. There we go. Goodness. So he's my top number one. I don't almost 60 points, 58.95 points. That's crazy. Number 2 from the Friday night game is Omar Cooper from Indiana. And no, I did not say Elijah Surratt. Yes, I am upset about that. But Elijah Cooper had a great game against Indiana State. 10 targets, 10 catches, 207 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Like, that's literally video game stuff. Same with Angeli, like video game numbers. Playing on freshman mode or whatever the lowest mode on CFP 26 is. Yeah, and Indiana State, that was kind of rude for Indiana to drop 73. Is that true? Was it 73? Yeah, 73-0. That's and he had 54.7 points for a wide receiver. And how much is he rostered? He's rostered in 11% of leagues, and 4% started him. I hope he isn't on any of my opponent's teams this week, because that would be crazy. All right. Well, I have a couple running backs I wanted to shine the spotlight on. And there's still, again, like there's stuff going on. If you're watching this in the future, we're in the middle of like the late games starting before the late games. So I'm just doing it with games that are finalized. My first running back is Ahmad Hardy from Missouri. 22 carries for 250 yards and three touchdowns. Like, he had another great game. His first two games were okay. They weren't outstanding, but today's game against Louisiana, he balled out. And that's what we want to see. He's still young in Missouri. And honestly, let me pull up the game stats from this. I think Bo Pribula had a good game too. Yeah, 15 of 22. Didn't throw a ton. He had 2 touchdowns for 174. And did he have a rushing touchdown? He did have a rushing touchdown. I see Marquise Davis had a rushing touchdown. He had 20 rushes for 113 yards. There's our first freshman sighting of the night. I need a little sound like freshman. Okay. Yeah, he had a touchdown. Let's look at the receiving, because I know. I know. I benched Brett. I didn't bench Brett Norfleet. I started Brett Norfleet, and I benched Justin Jolie, who caught 2 touchdowns on Thursday night. Texas A&M just took the lead, 28-24. Le'Veon Moss just scored a touchdown. Look at that, coming all the way back. That's a. I might put that one up as my big game on my other screen. Yeah, Ahmad Hardy had a great game. Missouri's offense in total had a great game. And who else we got? My last running back didn't have as big of a game as Hardy, but on the season, he has been really good. That's Robert Henry from UTSA. He had today, excuse me, 14 carries for 144 yards and 2 touchdowns. Last week against Texas State, he had 2 touchdowns. He has 2 touchdowns in every game. He had a receiving touchdown last week. So he has 7 total touchdowns. He's having a great season. 40 over for the whole season, 47 attempts, 480 yards. That's a 10-yard average. And again, 6 touchdowns on the ground, 1 touchdown through the air. Robert Henry is 97% rostered. So if you missed the boat on him, sorry. I think I did too. That's affirmative. I do not have him anywhere, unfortunately. But he has been very good for UTSA, and they are 1-2 because they lost the shootout last week and they lost to A&M in week 1. Okay. Yeah. So those are my 4 players that stood out so far. We'll see if anyone else stands out. It's not going to be Lenore Sellers. It looks like he is not coming back in the South Carolina Vanderbilt game. So going to have someone else step up in that. I honestly don't know who South Carolina's backup quarterback is. See if I can find that out real quick. Not that it matters. I mean, lineups are set, but Arkansas Ole Miss is a close one. It's 31-28. Focus. See if I can find South Carolina. Oh, nope. South Carolina. Their who? Luke Doty is the backup. I would have guessed Aaron Noland, and I would have been wrong. It looks like Rashul Faison has a touchdown. 10 attempts and 58 yards for him, so that's good. I'm glad to see him playing. The NCAA really bungled that situation. Yeah. So Luke Doty at South Carolina. Ugh. Wasn't expecting that. Let's talk. There's one more player / team that I wanted to talk about. And it's a guy that I have kind of liked. I have him in a couple places. Had him for a couple years, actually. Coming out of high school, he was a high 4-star. He wasn't quite a 5-star. And he committed to Texas A&M, didn't play much. He was just hurt a lot. And it's Connor Wegman at Houston now. I wanted to talk about him, how he's playing so far this year, and Houston in general, because they are not what a lot of people expected. I have a couple Houston guys here and there, but overall, they are exceeding expectations. I'll put it that way. So today, or not, sorry, that wasn't today. That was yesterday, Friday, against Colorado. Wegman was 15-24 for 222, and he had 2 rushing touchdowns on 83 yards carried, 83 yards rushing. And then last week against Rice, he was 15-22 for 188 and 1 touchdown, and he had another rushing touchdown last week. And week 1 against Stephen F. Austin, it looks like 15-24, almost the same exact stat line that he had yesterday. But he had 3 passing touchdowns in that game. So he's looked healthy. That's the thing. Like, we kind of knew that the talent was there, but now he's upright and playing football. He's not on the trainer's table. So, yeah, it's just good to see him healthy and not as ouchy as he has been. I feel like I need to talk about Dean Connors, because I think I whiffed on that one. I had him in a couple places, and I also dropped him I'll admit it. I dropped him. I didn't think he was going to do anything, because I just didn't think the offense was going to be predicated about throwing the ball to the running back. But so far, and he's getting a lot of rushing attempts as well. He's not getting a lot of receptions. He's got 6 receptions in 3 games, like 2 a game. Not that much. Rushing, 15 carries, 13 carries, 22 carries, 3 touchdowns. My bad. Dean Connors, he's only 78%. He might be out there somewhere for you. I doubt it, but he might be. And how's my favorite guy? He's not my favorite, but I do like him a lot. He's not doing that great. Amari Thomas from UAB, now at Houston. He's doing okay. How many targets did he have against Colorado? He had 3 targets against Colorado. Tanner Koziel. Now, I will say, it bothers me when all people do is victory lap, but I need a victory lap on Tanner Koziel, because I said, yes, he's going somewhere where the past couple seasons, they haven't thrown to the tight end that much. But they have thrown to the tight end when the tight end was good. And Tanner Koziel, so far, he has 7 targets, 8 targets, 6 targets. He only has 1 touchdown. But if you're playing in a tight end premium league, that's an extra, that's 14 points, 16 points, 12 points just for catching the ball. No yardage added, no touchdowns added. That's just for catching the ball, showing up. Like that's a 1 point tight end, obviously. If you did the math with me, I didn't say that. Sorry. But yeah, he's a target hog at Ball State, and he is a target hog right now at Houston. So yes, Koziol, count it. that balances out for Dean Connors. I gotta have balance, right? So I wanted to talk about Connor Wegman. I'm happy. Honestly, you might be able to still get him kind of cheap in a C2C if you so desired. I would say probably somewhere between a 5th and 8th round pick. Might have to go to a 4th, or I probably wouldn't go to a 3rd. But I would start at like a 7th and be okay if I sold him for a 4th, or sorry, for a 5th. If they want a 4th, I might have to have something come with him, but yeah. I like it. I like him. I might have to check and scour where he is in my leagues that I don't have him in. And let's see. Let's do a quick wrap around. Looks like nothing is happening in that game. A&M is still up 28-24. Illinois is up 24-0. Vanderbilt and South Carolina at the half 14-0. Miami 49-12. USC over Purdue 30-17. These aren't final, these are active games. Ole Miss up by 10 now against Arkansas 38-28. The Battle of Florida Atlantic and Florida Internationals 14-14. And now I've seen like four or five runs that Bo Jackson has had in the Ohio State-Ohio game. I said it last week, and I will keep saying it. He's the best running back in that room. This is different. I know the kids say that. Like, he's built different. Like, he's like Jeremiah Smith, built different. I'm not saying CJ Donaldson and James Peoples are bad by any means. But yeah, Bo Jackson he has a bright future. We'll put it that way. Also, Max Clare, I talked about him last week. Caught his first touchdown tonight for Ohio State. So Max Clare, best ball owners. Yay! Join the club. ODU is hammering Virginia Tech. It's 31-7 in the third quarter. What is happening? Oh no, Georgia Southern's losing now to Jacksonville State. Oh, the Georgia Perfecto is not looking good. What other games do we have? UMass is getting handled by Iowa. ECU again. East Carolina against Coastal is 10-0 East Carolina. Kentucky, Eastern Michigan. Florida LSU's at the half. LSU's up 13-10. Looks like Nussmeier has one touchdown. Lagway has a touchdown. That would be all the touchdowns. That would make sense. What else we got? TCU. Hoover has 3 touchdowns already. He's 15 of 18 for 217 yards. And who has those touchdowns? Ed Small. Ed Small has 2 of them, and Chase Curtis, the tight end, has the other one. So Eric McAllister and Jordan Dwyer do not have any touchdowns yet. They're at halftime against Abilene Christian. Hopefully they keep throwing the ball. Tulane is smacking Duke. I think at least maybe I expected too much out of Duke, I thought they might have been better. They're getting beat 24-3 right now. Retzloff has 3 rushing touchdowns, which makes me. Oh, I should have started him. I did not start Jake Retzloff. He has 3 rushing touchdowns. Silly. That's on me. I'll own that. Akron scored their first touchdown of the season, folks. Let's give them a hand. Looks like they scored 2. Whoa, look out. It's 17-17 against UAB. Come on, Akron. Let's go, Zips. Ben Finley has 2 passing touchdowns to Israel Polk. Fun fact. Not that fun. It is a fact, though. I got Israel Polk in the transfer portal on my CFB 26 online dynasty, and he's a stud. I'm sure he's happy he's out of Akron. I am controlling Florida Atlantic in that. So that's, fun. Bryce Underwood had a good game today against Central Michigan. To be expected. Nebraska, this one. Dane Key had 4 for 104 and a touchdown, so that was good. Excuse me. Ja'Cory Barney had 3 for 22 and a touchdown. Nazai Hunter had 1 for 16, and I definitely said on the start sit show, woo, that was close. That I would start if I had Barney and Hunter, I would start Hunter. Yep, with who else we got? That's finished. There's a lot of games coming up to halftime. Delaware beat UConn. I know. Oh, you know what? I wanted to look at the Syracuse. Whoa. Tight end. Syracuse. Here we go. And they play Colgate. We talked about that earlier. And that is Dan Villari. 4 targets, 40 yards. Okay. He did not get a touchdown. Jonte Cook did not get a touchdown either. He had 3 targets for 2 catches and 36 yards. Daryl Gill, 6 for 152 and 2. Like, that's crazy. Again, it's Colgate. I know. Let's see. What else do I have on my list? A couple I have. So I talked about Omar Cooper as having a great game. And I said his name's not Elijah Surratt. Elijah Surratt was the first name on my disappointment list. I did talk about Avery Johnson. And I was disappointed. I know I'm trying to calm fears about Cam Coleman. I still think he's a great NFL prospect. But with Jackson Arnold, you don't know if he's going to do the running thing this game, the passing thing. It varies from week to week. I don't think there's been a pattern to it yet. Maybe there has been, and I just haven't caught on. I have. No, I don't have him in this league. Let's see what he is. If there is, because I was thinking they played 3 games. Well, maybe. He had 2 rushing touchdowns game 1, no rushing touchdowns, and 2 rushing touchdowns. So maybe next game is going to be his passing game against Oklahoma. Maybe not. I don't know. That would be the game for him to do it, though. I think he would certainly be motivated for that game. The other guy, and I don't even know if it's a disappointment anymore. It is, because he was drafted so highly. It's Mekhi Hughes at Oregon. Oregon is still all over the place with splitting up. The Carnell Tate just caught a long bomb. Woo, jeez. With the workload split. What did they have today? Lamar had 11 rushes. Hill had 5. Davison had 4. Dante Moore had 2. Mekhi Hughes had 1. And I know Northwestern's not a big test. Like I said it last week. I want to see the stats when they're in a game that they actually have to play and stick to a game plan, and they can't just hand out rushing attempts like they're candy. And that would be, well, it's not next week against Oregon State. Penn State week 5. Like at that point, it's too late. I feel like tough, man. I really, really don't know about that. That situation is just so weird. That was a 55-yard touchdown. Wow, that was a long throw right in his hands. Julian Saint's really accurate. Wow, I'm impressed by that. What else we got? Miami's hammering. Yes, still. Yeah, Vandy, South Carolina just came out from half. 14-7. 13-10 LSU, Florida. Okay, nothing new yet at any of those games. Yeah, so my disappointments from the week/weekend: Elijah Surratt, Cam Coleman, Mekhi Hughes, Avery Johnson, just guys that were drafted pretty highly for the most part, especially CFF. Um, just not doing it. And I think, let me make sure I'm not missing anything. Excuse me. I am not. So, with that being said, enjoy your Saturday evening. Enjoy the rest of the games tonight. Let me see. I'll give you my schedule for the nights. Let's see. We have Air Force Utah State that starts like right now. Southern at Fresno State. Probably not going to watch that. Minnesota at Cal. I might keep an eye on that. That's a 10:30 start on ESPN just to see what Jaron Sagapolotele does against Minnesota. And I know Taylor is out. He is not playing. So that should be interesting. Boston College at Stanford, Texas State at Arizona State. I feel like that's going to be a high scoring game. And of course, the nightcap, the Rainbow Warriors, Hawaii against Portland State heading out to Hawaii. That game kicks off at midnight. I don't think I heard about Alejado. I don't know if he's playing or if he has a game time decision or what. Let's see if Fantrax has anything. He has a red flag. He is a game time decision. I don't think he'll play, which is a shame because he could light up Portland State. But hopefully Ashlock and Senecal. Is Senecal any updates on Senecal? Nick Senecal, it's just late scratch. He's questionable for tonight. So we don't know anything new for him. Excuse me. Befeli Ashlock. Nothing new for him. So I'm still operating under the assumption that Ashlock is the main man there. And I think that'll do it. Thank you for hanging out this evening. Enjoy the games tonight. Enjoy the NFL tomorrow. And I will have a pod out tomorrow night or Monday morning or Monday during the day. And I will see you back live here on Wednesday evening. Follow us on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter at Hoffspur or at Dynasty Rewind. We will post if what time we're going live exactly. It'll be between 8:30 and 9. I know that much. Yeah, have a great week and enjoy the rest of your weekend. And I will see you back here on Wednesday night. Bye-bye.